Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Breaking Boundaries podcast. So we are now on episode 6, which is absolutely crazy. I can't really believe it. And today we have an amazing guest on. She's called Grace Jones. She is a natural figure athlete. But before we do get Grace on, we're going to just have a little run through, have a little rundown about our weeks. So how's your week been? How are you, mate?
I'm good. It's been a good week. Another week boxed off. I can't lie. It's been a little bit funny at times. You know, like you just get some weeks where you do feel just like a bit crap, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like off-season feelings, which the thing with me is I don't really care. Like I like to shut myself off. So like I'll go in the gym, like just wear baggy clothes, don't like to look at myself, don't like to get bothered, in and out, get shit done. But sometimes, you know, like when the gym's busy and there's loads of people there and like I'm looking at other people and feeling a bit self-conscious, or like sometimes it just is a bit annoying. But still get everything done nonetheless. And I still kind of preach that, you know, you need to still get things done and not worry about stuff like that. But you know, it still happens, like regardless of what your mindset is towards it. Like you still have days where you feel a little bit shit. So like sometimes when I've been training, I've just not felt great, but then I get it done regardless, and I always feel great once I get into it. But it's definitely been one of those weeks where I just feel like a little bit like not 100%. But training's still been really good, of course.
Good.
It's still moving nicely, which is nice, moving as nicely as it does for a 2-year off season. So yeah. How has your week been? How's the prep going?
I don't have anything to report on it, in all honesty. I am, you know, when you start to prep, the only real issue is like, you know, you can't have, you know what I'm like, I'll literally do everything to the ground, won't I? I've actually cut out this week, like, it sounds so dramatic, but all kind of flavor drops, all that kind of vibe, like absolutely everything like that. And like I said, I do absolutely everything to the ground. So the only thing that I'm really missing is, like, you know, when you're sitting there watching telly on Leaving maybe, or you just fancy a little nibble, you know? And then I go do it and I'm like, oh, no, can't do that. So it's not ridiculous. Like I am hungry, but it's just because I'm a greedy bitch kind of hungry. It's not because I'm actually like starving. So cardio is now at 30 minutes push and rest days. I just do it on the bike, fasted. And my calories have dropped now to 2.4, which is still like, obviously, like that does sound like a lot, but I was on 3.8. So I don't want people to be like, how are you even hungry? It is quite
a big surplus though. So like now you're kind of getting towards like a deficit, which is obviously like what you need. So
yeah, exactly. So last week my weight didn't really move. It was just I felt like I was just at maintenance really, which is kind of what was expected. So that's why we've had a little bit of a drop in food and a little bit of extra cardio. Oh, and like 1,000 more steps a day, which is pretty fine for me to get, to be honest. I go on walks on my lunch. Training's been good. Obviously, you trained at Ultra on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I saw you on Saturday.
Yeah, you did. So train legs with Kuba and Meg, which was so good. I definitely took so much away from that session. It was just nice to be in that environment, you know, and I it was nice to have that almost dedicated weekend away of just being able to live like a bodybuilder.
It's nice.
You know what I mean? Like just really take my time with training, not have to worry about XYZ. You know, I made sure my whole weekend was free just for that. So that felt really, really good and really motivated me more to go into this week as well. So
Nice little update. So shall we get Grace? She's waiting in the waiting.
Let's get Grace on.
She's joining. Here we go.
Grace Jones. This will be the real test. Oh, there's no video. Well, hey.
Hello.
Oh, look at that for a background. Jesus. Now that is professional. That's stunning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm not too bad. I'm tired today though.
So
apologies if I'm like, what?
Well, thank you for coming on, even though I know it's a bit late as well. So we do appreciate you coming and joining us. Anyways, your day been good? You've been training today?
No, it's been a rest day today.
Oh,
so I've just been doing check-ins and getting some work done. And I do my food shop on a rest day. So just household stuff as well. So
life admin. I call it ladmin. I think it goes well, you know. No, I mean, don't worry about being a bit slow or being a bit tired, because that's usually lost. So you can take.
I normally do these podcasts after training, and at that point, I'm not.
I could not. When Hannah said Wednesday, I was like, yes, that's a rest day. That should be good.
Yeah, this is the first time we've done it on a rest day for me as well, so I feel amazing.
And you just had a massage. Win, win, win.
I've got lines on my head though.
Are you not knackered after a massage though?
I am.
It tires me out so much.
Yeah, I'm just keeping myself alert.
Anyway, right. I know we can chat. We can chat for England because we just have everything in common. So, but let's get into the podcast, shall we? So, a little introduction, Grace. So, all I've basically said is that you're a figure competitor, natural athlete. That is literally all I've said. So, let's just start with where you're at, right now.
Okay, so at the moment, first of all, thank you so much for asking me to come on, girls. I look up to you both very, very much, and I love what you're doing with this podcast. So I'm honoured to be asked to come on. As Hannah said, I am a figure competitor, a natural figure competitor. I'm currently 16 or 17 months into an off season. It wasn't meant to be this long. I was meant to compete this year, but obviously because of a few things like COVID, I've chosen to take it a little bit longer. So yeah, currently 16 months into an off season after doing my first season in 2019. Pretty much.
Beautiful. Well, to be honest, I guess that's where I know you from, the fact that we both started our competitive season at the same time. So yeah, I guess to start is, how have you got to this point? Tell us about that 2019 season. Right.
So what, competing wise, how did I get into that?
Competing wise.
So when I first started training, to be fair, I started training when I was 21 or something like that. Trained really well for about 6 months and then just kind of fell off it a little bit. And then I started training again when I was about 24, 25. And at that time, I started to, I guess, learn more about competing, specifically bikini competitors. So it's something that I always wanted to do because I really wanted to push myself to that limit. I really wanted to get myself that lean, see if I could do that, see what I would look like. But it was always I'll do it one day, not just yet. I'm not quite there yet. And a few years later, I think just from talking to friends about it who were also considering competing, it wasn't a female, it was just a male friend who was going to do physique. And I'm very much the type of person who's yeah, let's just do it. So we kind of discussed potentially kind of doing it at the same time. So we'd be prepping because we worked in the same facility. And we were both on board with it. So I ended up getting in touch with AJ, but I was kind of, quite happy to go along with what he said. So we decided to take a bit of an off season. It was 5 months just to do.
So AJ was actually your first coach?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you bagged a winner, didn't you?
I know. I'm so happy with my choice.
No, that's pretty sick. So I mean, how did you even find AJ? So I'm guessing that means that you've been within the fitness industry and bodybuilding industry for a while then, because when I first started, people like AJ and Kuba, etc. Wow, I didn't really know anyone, full stop. So
yeah. So well, I've been personal training for about 5 or 6 years. So I was working on the gym floor, so I was involved in it. And I just came across him on Instagram.
Oh.
There were other people that I was looking at. I was looking at Steve Hall. I don't think we would have suited one another, so I'm really pleased that I did go and get in touch with AJ. I think we're suited. And yeah, it just went from there really. So we spent about 5 months of an off season, started the prep. So I think I signed up with AJ in October or November of 2018.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
had that.
right in thinking as well that I remember like the first pictures you sent across to him, you were doing like bikini poses and stuff as well. I love those.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So when I sent in my application, I remember I said on it that I wanted to compete in bikini. And I mentioned
you'll have to send those pictures over. I want to see.
Oh God, I will. I'd mentioned in my application, I said some people have said I would suit figure. And he was like, we'll see how you look once we get some size on you and when we diet you down, and we'll see how it goes. And when he did say to me, like, as I was kind of doing some bikini poses, some figure ones, he was like, you're definitely figure. And I had a proper strop. Like, I was not happy.
I think, to be honest though, mate, I think everyone does that. Like, I had the exact same reaction because I was literally like, what are you trying to say? That I look like a man? Like, because I had no idea.
That's exactly it. Because to me, like, figure, because I didn't know enough about it, it just seemed more masculine to me. Like the poses even, I was like, I want to be cute. Like yeah.
I want to be sexy on stage.
But honestly, like when I saw the bikini girls at the UKDFBA show, I was like, I could not have done that. I would have looked ridiculous.
No. Like the idea of it, like you think it start like, oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, I can't look at videos of myself doing bikini posing. I can't. It actually like makes me feel unwell.
Unwell.
Terrible.
No.
Yeah. I know what you mean by like the idea though of like figure posing at start. Like when you just don't know anything about it, you think like, oh, you're telling me I can't do bikini, like I'm not feminine enough or something. But your shape is so suited for figure as well.
I'm obsessed with you, Grace. The amount of time I think I've sent your photos to. So I always send Caitlin like people's random photos that they post. We'll just send each other, and I'm like, wow. And I've sent yours about 6 times. So.
Thank you.
Well, you were pretty much the only one of AJ's clients that I followed, like before I even really was interested in him. And I always followed you because I'd like seen you off of like his page, and I was like, oh my God, I used to always remember telling her, I was like, Grace looks so good. You were always like one of the figure athletes that like I looked up to. So yeah.
It's not just about that though, to be honest, Grace. It's the fact that not only do you have an incredible physique, but you put out the content there to educate people about training, about food, like about health. Like you don't just, I don't know, train and put half-assed effort into things. You are literally live, breathe it, and it just shows, and it's incredible to watch as well.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. I try.
So I guess no, you go, mate.
Do you want to just tell us then how that season started in 2019 and then how that kind of went for you and like who you competed with that year and what like the end were?
Yeah, so we started the prep in March, which gave me 26 weeks until the first show, which was the BNBF.
Okay.
I get confused with which one was where.
No, I don't know where the shows this year are. UKDFBA, I keep going, Rugby, Coventry, one of them. Yeah. I'm just like, I know that I'll be there. So
in the UK, that's all I know. Yeah, it was God knows where it was, because at the end, the dates got changed. So some of the show dates got changed. So I had to do a show that was 2 weeks earlier, and that was in Birmingham. So that was the first show. So it was 24 weeks until the first show. The prep ran really smoothly. I would actually say, like, looking back on my photos, and I think AJ agrees, that I was ready quite early. I looked my best probably for my first show.
Okay.
because as we dieted me down further, I lost, like, as we chased my legs, I kind of lost a bit of my upper body. And
yeah, relate.
yeah. You'll know.
Yeah.
So I did the BNBF, came first in that show in the
Yes. So what category was that then?
That was figure. So I did figure and everything.
Experience as well, though, like for your first show, like, did you really enjoy that as well?
I loved it, but it was so stressful. So I nearly missed it.
I've heard this story.
What?
Honestly, it was the most stressful experience ever, because we had like a rough idea of what time I would be on stage, which was 2:00. It was like, okay, cool. So I planned when I was going to eat my meals. I was finishing off my tan, doing my makeup, hair. And I think I was just about to eat my last meal before making my way to the venue. So I was in the Airbnb, and AJ messaged me and he was like, hey, where are you? And I was like, I'm just finishing up. And he was like, okay, get here as soon as you can. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Just carried on. I get another message like 5 minutes later, and he's like, where are you? And I was like, I won't be long. I'll be there in a sec. And he was like, okay, hurry up. And then like another 5 minutes later, it was like capital letters, like, get here now. So I freaked out and just,
oh my God,
like, grabbed my bag with my heels and everything. And we had to run about 10 minutes through Birmingham to get to the venue.
Was it the town hall?
I don't know where it was.
Oh, right, it doesn't matter.
AJ was stood at the door, like holding the door open, like, come on. I've just left my sister behind. Like, he's waiting for her to get the bag, and he's just like told me to go backstage. I got lost backstage. I was just running around like I don't know where I'm going. And then when I finally found where I had to be, the girls were literally lining up to go on stage.
Oh my God.
They'd all pumped up, they'd oiled up, they were ready to go. And I had to put my heels on while pumping up, while someone was oiling me up. And to
be fair, probably got a nice little pump from the jog. Let's just go with that. And let's also have a take-home message here. Be at the venue fucking early.
Yes, I never left after that. Every single other show, I was like, I'm not leaving, ever.
Nice.
But you know what? I'm actually, aside from the panic, I'm really glad that it happened like that, because I think I would have got way too nervous.
Yeah, got like inside your head a little bit, like backstage. Okay, so were there any girls on stage with you then that we may know? Like any?
Steph was on stage with me.
As in pro?
No, oh. Steph the doctor.
Oh, lovely.
I only know people by their Instagram names.
Yeah, literally, Dr. Steph.
There was a few people on there that you'll probably know of. And that was such an amazing show, because the BNBF, it's really quite like theatrical. They put a lot into their shows. It's really cool. So that was amazing. And then the second one was the UKDFBA, which was like 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later in Manchester. I actually did Fit Body as well in that show.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. Which
Let's
is so
just RIP Fit Body.
I know, yeah, physique that'll be now, won't it?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, it will be. It's just a cool name.
Fit Body.
Yeah. But so that was in Manchester, and that was 2 weeks later. And how was that show in comparison to the BNBF?
A lot smoother, because I got time. Yeah, it was good. It was really nice. It wasn't as big a venue. It was hard because obviously, because I did just have to like run in.
Yeah.
I couldn't really compare it. Like it was, I would say it was a lot smoother. Like BNBF, there was a bit more waiting around because you go on at different times. Whereas the UKDFBA, it was like you go on, you do your comparisons, then you do your single like T-walk. All at the same time, so it's a lot faster. But it was good to do Fit Body, because figure in the UKDFBA, it's just the quarter turns. It's not muscular poses or anything, whereas in BNBF they take you through muscular poses as well, which is always fun. So it was nice.
I really like those as well. So
so that was a good experience. I came third in Fit Body and first in figure. So I qualified for the British finals for the two comps.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is incredible for like your first season. And then so was that it? So you just did BNBF and UKDFBA just
They were the two feds, yeah. And then I went to the British finals for the two of them.
Yeah. So was there any reason in particular that you decided to stay in the natural federations? Obviously you are natural, but did you think like federations such as like PCA were just kind of out the question, or?
No, it was literally just whatever AJ told me to compete in, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't massively clued up on it. Like I mentioned before, I just kind of like roll with things. So when I decided I wanted to compete, I hadn't really done much research into the feds or anything like that. So in hindsight, like I would actually like to do a PCA show because I'd love to do a routine with no shoes on.
Yes.
I'd love to do that because like BNBF, they have a routine, but you're wearing heels and it's like the most terrifying thing
Really?
ever. Yeah.
See, I mean, I haven't even looked at, I shouldn't probably say it, but I haven't even looked at BNBF previously. So you do a routine as into music like 60 seconds, or is it more like an eye walk routine?
It's a bit of both. It's like 60 seconds. You do it to music, your own chosen music. But it is still
in heels.
Heels,
yeah.
yeah.
I can't watch the videos. Like I literally cringe so hard. I can't.
Am I right in thinking as well that year, Grace, that you went to Worlds?
Yes.
So can you talk to us a little bit about where Worlds was, like what it actually is? Because obviously a lot of people don't really know what Worlds is as well. So just kind of like explain that to us and then like tell us what the whole experience was like as well.
Yeah. So in BNBF I came second, which still got you an invite. So they had the DFAC Worlds.
Yeah.
And then with the UKDFBA, I won that. So I got an invite to the WNBF Worlds, which was in New York. Now the UKDFBA, they're incredible and they do their absolute best to fund their athletes to go abroad. So it wasn't really an option with the BNBF, and I was always kind of focused on the UKDFBA anyway. So I was given the opportunity to go across to New York to compete in Worlds, which was just the most amazing experience ever. But I didn't actually know if I was going to be able to go to that because 2 weeks prior to it, I went on a charity trek in India.
What?
I don't know if Hannah knows this.
I don't know this.
So Hannah, you know Copperfield, don't you?
Oh, Copperfield, yeah. I thought you said Copperfield. I was like,
no. Yeah, so I went on a charity trek with them.
Just to India? Just chilling? Just thought, why not? Right. So,
well, I'd applied for it at the start of the year because I knew what the dates were for Worlds. It was very much like, okay, I don't want to pass up this opportunity and end up not being able to go to Worlds. So I applied for it and I was like, I'll just go for it anyway. Even if I raise the money and can't go, it is what it is. At least you've
done something good.
Yeah. And the closer we got to the British finals, the more I was kind of thinking, I think I'll go on the trek regardless. And I'd kind of actually made the decision to just go on the trek because I didn't think I could do both.
Yeah.
It meant a lot to me. But when I came off the stage after winning the British finals, I felt so sad and physically sick because I wanted to go to Worlds so bad. And AJ was just like, you know what, we can make it work. Like worst case scenario, you still got your shape, you'll still look somewhat decent. Just may
look a little bit like, I guess did your body look a little bit kind of stressed or anything after such a intense?
It did, because I didn't actually get to hike that much because I got really ill. Yeah, so thinking back,
I'm kind of not actually surprised because when you are on prep, when your calories etc that low, like your immune system is shot.
Yeah, exactly. And then like obviously it is slightly different types of food, so I was eating the food they were giving us but being very conscious of it. So I think my body was just like, nah.
Nope. Yeah, because your digestion already is so sensitive because you're so used to like whole foods and such clean eating, that spices and things like
yeah. So I was bedridden for 2 of the days that I was there.
Oh my god.
Like it was pretty severe. I didn't think it was that bad at the time, but looking back, like I was passing out when we were walking, and like all the animals, I was lying waiting for the taxi, like passing out, and all the animals were coming up to me because it's like, you know, when they sense something.
Yeah. Shit. Was that,
bad.
do you think it was because of the heat as well? Just like
No, it's
exhaustion?
just dehydration. And when you know how important hydration is, like it's quite
scary
how close that could have been to something even worse. So yeah, my body was stressed. It was really holding on to a lot of water. So it's frustrating because Worlds was such an incredible opportunity. I still wouldn't change it. I would not change it for the world, but I looked like shit. I looked so shit in comparison to what I looked like for British finals, for example. And it was a proper letdown, to be honest. But like, I felt like I let myself down, but at the same time, it was out of my control.
Yeah. And like you said, like you wouldn't actually change it. At the end of the day, you going away was a kind of once in a lifetime kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to make your first season almost seem like it's nothing, because everyone's first season is so special, but you've got so many more. Like, you are obviously going to have so many more incredible seasons, so try not to, well, I guess you're probably over it now, but yeah, try not to let yourself feel low about that, because even going on the trek to begin with, like, that's amazing, man.
Yeah,
it was
you
cool.
still went to Worlds as well. And did you have like a good time like while you were in New York as well?
Yeah, it was such an incredible opportunity. It was so fast though, because literally I think it was like 3.5 days we were there in total.
I was gonna ask, is it I don't mean to be cheeky, but like, do they pay for like accommodation and stuff and flights and things, so you only stay out for X amount of time that they give you, or can you kind of change it and then stay a little bit longer if you like add your own money in, sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly that. So they a few people did stay, and it's just on their own money then. So some people stayed for an extra week. But yeah, they fund, so well, at least they did. They funded.
Yeah. So obviously,
I think it depends on the budget, obviously, and they obviously prioritize the pros and all the people that got the pro cards and then worked their way down. So yeah, they covered all of that, and the show. So I think they've changed it now, and obviously the UKDFBA isn't affiliated with the WNBF anymore, but the show ran for over 24 hours. Like, the second time, so when we stepped on stage to do our tea walks, it was 3:00 in the morning. It was ridiculous.
I have heard this from Holly Davidge.
Yeah.
Because I know that she went, and she said that 3:00 in the morning, people were like getting on stage. Like, imagine your body then.
So at that point, it was just like, screw this. Like, I was backstage, like, and I was just like, I'm gonna eat these cookies. I don't care. Like, it just, even on the photos, you can see, I could just remember I was stood there and I was just like, I don't care anymore. Like, just at that point where you like just get it done. And they were, in all honesty, it was really poorly ran, and it's such a shame. And I know they're going to do it over 2 days now. But it was poorly ran. And even at the end, like, they weren't even bringing certain people back on the stage to even, like, they were only bringing the top 5 back on, and it was just really rushed. And it felt the most anticlimactic out of every single one of them, the shows that I've done, which you wouldn't think it. You think it would be the opposite way around. But I came 3rd anyway, which is great.
What? Oh, yeah, that's great. Oh, yeah, it's nothing. Just 3rd in the world. Oh, chill. Jeez, that's incredible. Wow, what a season, man. And I guess you're going to be absolutely buzzing for what's to come, right? Do you have any idea of, are you going to stick, like you said, are you going to stick with UKDFBA and things like that and head back to Worlds? And
I'd love to.
Though, won't it?
I'd love to. Yeah. I just want to do better. I want to do better than I did last time. That's what I want to do.
Is that the goal when you stepped off stage? Were you hoping, so obviously your goal after you stepped off stage was to go into an off season and improve?
Yeah.
Was that with the intention of staying in figure and just improving in figure? Because obviously your physique has grown like massively to the point where you might not compete in figure next time, maybe. I mean, I don't know what your plans are, but like, what are you looking towards when you next step on stage?
Yeah.
It'll be figure again, hopefully. I would love to stay in figure, but me and AJ have discussed the fact that it may not be figure anymore. It could be a different category. And although, again, I had a bit of a stroff over that, because you get kind of attached to them, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Once that kind of settles, I'm like, you know what, I don't do this for a category. I do this because I love the sport and I love to train hard, and wherever I fall, I fall. I think the main reason I want to stay in figure is because I know it sounds a bit cringy, but I want to like defend my title, and I want to come back and do better than I did last time. So I hope I stay in figure, but we'll just have to see what happens, because I've got another year of growth. So,
and now there are more options as well. So like you could do, for example, like the Two Bros Naturals figure, which you will probably always still fit the criteria for regardless, because their criteria is obviously going to be a little bit different to like normal natural feds. Probably to do with, you know, your shape and your structure, and probably even get away with being a bit bigger or a bit leaner with them. So that's obviously like nice that there's different opportunities as well to compete with different feds.
Actually that's going to be so exciting to watch this year, Two Bros Natural. I think it's going to be an exciting, because obviously it's so brand new, like people are going to dive straight in. So I guess then, because you are in this off season and you're planning to be in for another 12 months, so have you got to like an absurd amount of calories, or what's the game plan there? Are you gaining weight quite slowly? Like, where are you at with that kind of thing?
So I wouldn't say that my calories are absurd at all. They're the highest they've ever been, but only by a margin, only by a couple of hundred. So they're just over 3,000, which I know is nothing compared to you, Hannah.
Yeah, but that's just because I'm a fat. I like food, innit? I can't help myself. No, but sorry.
I think it's taken a very long time for me to get to that point. I would say now, which is like, again, 16 or so months after coming off of prep, I think probably now my body is completely recovered.
Yeah. Has it been a linear push-up for you, or have you done some like pullbacks?
No, we've done some pullbacks. So the first one we did, so I gained weight quite quickly. Like I gained about 30 pounds in less than 2 months, probably. And then we kind of held that weight until about June of last year.
Okay.
So 8 months or so.
Yeah.
And then we did a dieting phase because I just needed a bit of focus, you know, in lockdown especially. But my body did not respond well. I think we even pulled it down to less calories than I was on at any point on my prep.
Yeah.
And it still just did not respond.
Yeah, it just happens though. Like we pulled my food down recently and I just did not respond. I got heavier. So,
and to be honest, Grace, if you were in lockdown, right, I guess you weren't having the same stimulus. Were you able to train in a gym or?
No, but we had a decent amount of equipment, to be fair. So I was definitely able to almost train to the same extent and do the same thing. But yeah, it didn't respond. I think we only ran it for about 5 weeks or so before I started getting the same like mental symptoms that I would get from prep as well.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, no, I can't do this. So we started to push food back up again. And then a few months later, my appetite kind of dropped completely, which I never, ever thought I would see the day where I would struggle to eat. And I've always said that. But I couldn't even look at food. Like I wanted to vomit looking at food. So we tried to push it up until I think it was like a few months like that. And then I was like, right, I want to enjoy Christmas. I want to have an appetite. So we ran from the start of December for about, I think it was 14 weeks or so. We ran a dieting phase, a lot more responsive that time. So it was in a much better position.
14 weeks, that is basically a prep, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite
to take the dieting phase like that though and do it slowly. I think especially it's obviously taken your body that long to recover from the prep, which honestly it does do for like most females. And then when you do enter that dieting phase, it's just not rushing it and taking it slowly to make sure that your body can like respond well to it as well.
So at that kind of peak part where you lost your appetite, etc., did you find that you were actually struggling with your self-image, or were you just so focused?
Yeah, I don't, to be honest, I've never really had, I've had, obviously everyone has days where they don't like the way they look, but I've never had any serious like issues with it or issues with gaining weight, potentially a little bit post-show, especially with it being so fast. But aside from that, I'm quite comfortable at a heavier weight.
Love that.
And I know it's a means to an end. So I know it's necessary. So it never really bothers me too much. The only time it pisses me off is when I can't find jeans that fit. That's the main issue.
Do you know, yeah, just don't wear them. Just don't wear trousers. That's kind of my side of things. Do you know how much weight difference there has been between like that peak off-season weight to your stage weight? Or again, are you just kind of not even asked, like don't even know?
I think the highest I got was 170 pounds, something like that, and my lowest on prep was 130. So 40 pounds difference, which is pretty decent. I'm currently like 157-ish. And yeah, my body's in such a responsive state now, and that's why I think it's actually properly recovered, because even that last dieting phase at the start of the year, it still got to a point where like I was doing daily cardio and it just wasn't responding anymore, not like it should have been. So it still wasn't there yet. But this time round, like I just know the way that I'm training, the way that I'm growing, the way that my appetite is, I know I'm like fully there. And it's crazy how it takes so long, but
I think a lot of like females really don't understand how long it takes. And that was like, I think Hannah, you shared it on your story, and I don't know if you saw it, Grace, but there was this thing circulating on Instagram the other day where basically I think it was a bikini pro or someone was just saying how females shouldn't take long off seasons and they shouldn't get above 10 kilos of their stage weight because it puts them in like a poor position to prep, and it's not good for their hormones or something. I was like, honestly,
I know like competing is important, but your health is so much more important than that. Like that's it.
And I'm sorry, like if you genuinely, she was saying that it puts you in a bad position for prep. If you look at the people, like even us, we're so early in our bodybuilding journey. We have put on way more than 10 kilo from our stage weight, and we have grown so much. I think if she was talking about, right, like the pros, like top end of the scale, like where they're going off season to off season, I mean, they don't necessarily have to get larger in their off season, right? Because they've already got such a dense, good basis. Whereas for us, you need to put that weight on. You need to have that big push up.
But even still, like from a health perspective, like they need to take time away from dieting to get their hormones back to where they need to be and to get their health in check. And like people seem to care way more about stepping on stage than they do about their general health. And it's something that people just don't talk about. Like so many like female competitors could probably get their bloods done and they would be an absolute mess.
You know, I had my blood results back yesterday. So I obviously we don't take anything. So there's not necessarily any. When I went and got the bloods done, they were like, so are you taking anything? You know, is there anything that we should be aware of? Blah, blah, blah. Because that's what they usually expect when you go get your bloods done. It's like, no, completely natural. Like, I just want to make sure that I am okay before I have this next push into prep.
Because they still can be affected by just
massively. Like your thyroid, like as well. Like, and then say your thyroid is messed up, that will then really hinder you from dieting and doing a prep anyway. That'll basically work against you whilst you're trying to diet. So, but yeah, I'm really, really happy that everything came back completely normal. Even with our diets as well, like such a high protein diet, like sometimes it may affect your kidneys, like if you've already got that predisposition. So like it's definitely worth getting checked, just getting all
I'd like to do it next time before I prep.
Yeah,
See the difference.
For sure.
Interesting.
So I guess on that, what would you say is your favorite part about bodybuilding? Like, because you are in this long off season, like you must love it, right? Because you can get strong, you can grow, but a lot of people, they're unable to take that time away from stage. So what would you say is your favorite part?
For me, it's the people that I've met. It's
Oh,
not necessarily like the people that I've met through actual like competing and bodybuilding. That's what I love about it. But training and everything, that just comes as second nature. It's something I've done for a really long time now. And I think that people that can't take time away from stage are doing it for the wrong reasons, probably.
yeah,
You should want to take that time away so that you can get stronger because you love to train as much as you do. Like, but yeah, I think it's the people that I've met, and I was really nervous about what people would be like, especially at shows, and they were
same.
so friendly, and yeah, it's just been incredible.
Yeah,
So.
I was extremely nervous because I completely expected, I don't want to offend anyone, but I expected people to be so like catty and bitchy. Like, and I was literally backstage like, oh my God, like thinking, because I don't have a lot of female friends anyway. Like I'm usually just like, because I'm a man. So I was like expecting to not get on with them like even more. So I was like so ready. And then I got backstage and they were so lovely. Like at the end of the day, people are there because they are so passionate. They've worked just as hard as you know, to get to that point. So they just want to enjoy the day as much as you. So it is so amazing to meet, well, incredible women like yourself, you know. That is actually, we did get a few questions of people, but one lady did say, by the way, you three are all huge inspirations for me. Much love to you all. You are incredible.
Oh, that's so nice.
Isn't it cute? So I guess these are all extremely related to what we're talking about anyway. So she said, what are the signs that your body comp is getting a bit too sloppy? With you pulling back quite a few times, like, do you think it's necessarily been because your body comp has been sloppy, or is it just obviously you did because of your appetite?
Yeah, for me, it was purely appetite. Like I was quite comfortable with how I was looking. And I wouldn't say that I was holding on to too much fat. Like my composition is definitely better now, but it wasn't in a bad position then. So it was more so because of the appetite.
Yeah.
You know, that's really nice to hear as well, that you say like you were just so comfortable, because I even admitted, I think a few episodes ago, that I did get to a point where I was feeling a little bit rubbish about myself. I still wanted to continue to push, like that would not have deterred me from carrying on the push, etc. I remember when Cuba actually said like, oh, we're going to do a mini cut. I was like, what? What? No. But it does affect a lot of people, you know. And another one of the questions was, how do I stop overthinking my surplus / rate of gain when I'm trying to get massive?
Just don't think about it. If you want to get massive, just don't think about it, basically. Otherwise you can just stay small.
Yeah, don't focus on that, because it's not the determining factor, is it? Like if your training's going well and you're getting stronger, that's what's determining whether you are gaining or not.
Yeah, and I think that's like what you said in terms of like when do you know that things are getting sloppy? It's not so much your body composition. Obviously you look at that, but it's the other factors. So it's like, are you digesting your food? Are you training well? Like, are you sleeping well? Is your resting heart rate like absolutely through the roof because your fitness levels are gone and like everything's a mess? And that's obviously the things that will then reflect in your body composition as well. But it's looking at those markers and then making a decision from there. So that's what I think. Yeah, because I sometimes look at myself and I think we even took a look at myself and we were like, my glutes are so soft, like I look really, really soft. But then my training's going well, like my food's going down, like why would I stop or pull back just because I look a bit soft?
And what's wrong with soft glutes anyway?
Not good.
Beyonce over here.
Not
I get to the point now where I'm like, I just think I look too small.
Oh my God, I'm having this complex at the minute, Grace. I'm having this complex. I can't. I want to stop prep. I want to continue to grow. I'm too small, and I want to get massive.
I literally looked like a child at the end of my prep last year. Okay, I literally could have been mistaken for a 10-year-old child. That is what it feels like to be small. That is really like, I was 43 kilos of bone. Terrible.
Yeah.
It's
bigger, don't we?
Yeah. But that's nice though. That's so nice to hear as well. Because so many people would say like, yeah, oh no, I can't wait to prep, can't wait to be lean. And we're all just like, yeah, let's fucking massive.
Yeah.
I'm scared that I won't look as good now because I feel like I'm going to be out of proportion.
What do you mean?
No, it's just daft. Like I have got a complex about my legs. Like I've always wanted them to be bigger no matter what.
Oh.
And I feel like because my upper body has developed quite a bit, that I think I've come to the conclusion that my legs actually look smaller because my upper body is bigger.
Nah. I think when you come down though, like I don't know about you, but I lose so much size on my upper. I kind of hold my weight. I do hold my weight quite everywhere. I'm not someone that necessarily holds it on like my lower or my upper, but I definitely notice my upper get lean faster.
Yeah, you lose the fullness as well, like in your delts as well. So
I'm like mentally preparing myself for the flatness to come.
Yeah. Like when you getting just as lean this time?
No, not just because honestly, I'll send you some pics, Grace, because I was borderline death. Like I was probably I would say the last 4 weeks of my prep, I was too far. Like 4 weeks, like I just looked like I couldn't get a pump. I couldn't get anything. Like even my show day pics that that someone took backstage, like to send to my coach, I think. Even those pictures, I look at them and I'm like, I'm so flat. So we're definitely not going to go as far because I don't want to lose as much muscle and I don't want to lose as much fullness. However, I still want to get fucking shredded. Me and Meg are having a glute off because we'll both be like very lean at the same time. So I'm going to pop back to Ultraflex and we're going to have a shredded glute off to see who's.
That'd be sick. But also on that note, I don't think you're going to be out of proportion, Grace.
No, not at all.
And also, like, if you were out of proportion, like AJ would probably tell you as well anyway.
Yeah.
Totally would. I mean, he has kind of said that because my legs, I had a knee injury and stuff, so my legs have lost.
I know.
He is quite like blunt about that.
Exactly. But you've got a lot of time even still to focus on the things that you need to bring up if you do. Exactly.
So is that a specific area for your training at the minute? Are you focusing on any particular area or is it just more size everywhere?
It's just more size everywhere. Like I'm actually only training, well, I am kind of training legs twice a week because I've got back and hamstrings.
Yeah.
But I'm only doing one leg session a week, which does concern me a bit.
I'm very similar to this at the moment. Yeah, like I think I'm only training legs once. Like I'm not growing enough, but when you're training like intensely enough,
I was about to say
you don't need to do more. Like more volume is not always going to help you. And like on that note, I actually want to ask, have you like always trained in the way that you do now? Because obviously, like I know we all follow a very like similar training principle of like lower volume, like focusing on progressive overload, like top set back off. Have you always done that, or was that something that you kind of adapted to when you started working with AJ?
Yeah, that's something that I adapted to when I started working with him. I think it's definitely a lot more of a popular approach nowadays, I would say as well. Like I used to just do push-pull legs or a variation of that, and I would train 6 days a week. And there's no way in hell that I could do that now with the way that I train. And I never really followed set programs or anything like that beforehand. I just trained because I loved it. And I just mix things up because I enjoyed trying different things, and I never really focused on anything in particular. So that's, yeah, it was quite a big difference, to be honest. But it was nice to put some focus into something and see that progression.
And you obviously like training like that now as well.
Yeah, I could not go back to like just doing anything. I think I did it for like a week post prep just to have a bit of fun. And all I had in my head was, I was like, this is pointless. This is literally pointless, because I'm not going to.
People find a lot more enjoyment in it as well. Like, it's something that I've like noticed. I don't know if you've noticed it like with any clients that you've worked with, Grace, but like when you take people away from like doing so much volume, like they just hate it like all the time. And like when you actually like bring the volume down and like show them they can focus on like getting stronger, they like actually enjoy training.
Exactly.
It's because it's that mini goals at every single session, isn't it? Like, we all thrive on like hitting the next target, etc. And so if you're hitting that next target almost every single session, it's like a thrill.
That's it. You're literally like rewarded every time you're in the gym. And it's something I try and encourage my clients to do is train with intensity so that they get that reward, because that's what's going to give them longevity with their training. Not just going in and going through the motions because they think they have to enjoy it, and they have to push. Because it's so much more enjoyable.
Well, on that, Grace, is there anything that you wish that you told yourself at the beginning of your fitness journey? Or like maybe something that you wish you'd known?
I don't think there is, because although, yeah, I could have made a lot more progress had I followed programs and done, trained with a bit more intensity or less volume, I don't know if I'd have fallen in love with it in the same way. Like, it taught me so much. Like, obviously I'm a coach myself, so I've learned a lot through trialing all these different things and different exercises, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I mean, it would have been great to have had another few years on my physique properly, but I still don't think I'd change it.
Yeah. I completely, I hear you there. I'm very, very similar in that respect, because I was in the gym for like quite a few years, like barely though, like on and off, but I loved it still. And I think because you found that love for it, that's what's then provided a solid basis for everything now that you've learned.
Yeah, exactly.
I sometimes wish I'd have trained a bit properly at first, because I think I probably like ruined all my joints just from training like an absolute cretin.
That's
probably, what I'd probably tell myself is just stretch a little bit more and do a bit
more. I'd probably say go to bed, like go to sleep. Just focus on your sleep.
Yeah, that is, to be honest, I'd be like, do not do 5:30 a.m. clients. That's daft. That's what I'd say.
Have you completely transferred then from personal training as well to online coaching, just to kind of in your career?
Yeah. So when lockdown happened, obviously I had to go online in lockdown, but then I transferred everyone into like full online coaching after everything opened, which is another reason I'm super excited to prep next time, because I was running the last prep on very little sleep, so it'll be really interesting to see how my body responds.
Were your steps relatively like astronomical as well?
No, they were pretty decent, to be fair. Like, they were pretty steady on the 10k. But I was having to wake up at like 4:30 to get cardio done before clients, and then it was all day at the gym, and stressful.
Are you really enjoying like being online now as well? Like, do you think it's kind of helped your bodybuilding, like your personal bodybuilding journey, and that like you can train a bit better and like you can eat your meals better and stuff like that as well?
Yeah, massively, because obviously you have more control of your own time. Like when you're PTing, you kind of have to say yes to other people's time basically, and work your schedule around that. But this way I can structure it the way I want to, but at the same, like, I absolutely love it, but I'm looking forward to being even busier, because I've always been so busy with PTing, and I like to be busy. I'm a lot more productive when I am. So where I've got so much time now in comparison to what I had, it's quite a change for me, and it actually makes things a bit harder in that sense.
Yeah, it's nice though, because it gives you a goal and something to like work towards, and now you have like more room to get better and better.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you had your PT, you were obviously like limited with the time and you were doing like the most you could, whereas now you have that more free time and that room to grow and expand, which is like ultimately exciting. So that's cool. Very cool. Yeah.
I guess to end off then, what is your end goal, not just within competing, but within your career as well? Like, where do you want to take it?
As far as I can. I don't, this is bad, like I don't really
that's a good
much, like within bodybuilding, like I know people don't like to admit wanting this, but I just want to be the best. Like, and like obviously I want to be the best version of myself, but I also want to be the best. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to win, and that's it. Like but with my career, I just want to be able to help as many people as possible. Like, I'm not set on like earning stupid amounts. Like, I'm not driven by that. I just want to help as many people as I can, kind of get what I get out of this. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, I don't really plan too far ahead. I just take it as it comes.
Nice though, because it's, you don't really like overthink anything massively. Like, you don't worry about anything. You just do your best. And I think that you, like, most of the time you see people that are like that, they get the best results as well, because they're not stressing about anything. They're just putting
enjoying it
every day and enjoying everything, which I think is really nice. I think way too many people like overstress about things or worry about like, I need to be here by this time and I need to have achieved this before I'm this age. And it's just like why are you putting stress on yourself? You're really making it harder for yourself and less enjoyable, and you're probably less likely to actually reach those goals when you're adding all that stress to it. So it's just nice to see that you just enjoy what you do, but you're still like super determined as well. It's cool. I like it.
Thanks. I definitely deal with the stresses still. It's like I have this like opposing personality that's like, don't you want to do this? And I'm like, no, leave me alone, I'm chill.
Yeah, literally, when you've got like a spare half hour, you're like, what am I meant to be doing right now? I should be doing something. But no, you've got a very, very exciting future ahead of you, Grace. Like, it's going to be amazing to see, like, even the rest of this off season, like the both of you. I'm very excited to watch you grow and absolutely smash it. So
Team MBN.
Strong as long. Jesus.
MBN sounds like what you used to eat when you were a kid. Oh no, that's BNBN. Ignore me. Are you coming to any shows this year? Are you gonna?
I want to get to as many as I possibly can, because the funny thing is, I've never actually spectated at a show.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Yeah, so I'd really like to get to as many as I can. So I would definitely be there supporting if we're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I really hope we can. I think we should all be good. I'm excited to go as well.
Plus, you can
show experiences.
You'll probably be able to fit in my bag if you wanted.
Mate, not when I'm weighing about 65 kilos.
Yeah, actually, you'll probably be heavier than me.
Literally at that point, I'll be like a foot shorter but heavier. Great. Combination.
Yeah, but I'll look like a cheese string, so it's fine.
Oh my god. Honestly. But anyway, thank you so much, Grace, before we ramble on. Thank you so much, Grace, for coming on. It's been really cool to have you on and to chat to you. And you've obviously, I know you said that we've been like an inspiration for you, which is like silly, but you've been someone that me and Hannah have like looked up to massively. And you're someone that I've always had as someone to look towards in like the natural bodybuilding side of things. So it's been really nice to have you on and have a chat to you. I think Hannah agrees as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you again for having me on. And isn't it just so cool as well that there's so many more like natural female competitors out and about? I just love it. It's so cool.
We're gonna cause a havoc.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. But that's the goal, isn't it? To kind of spread a little bit more about it as well, because there's not so much on it. So we want to kind of share that to other people. But yeah, I think that kind of concludes this episode. So thank you again, Grace, for joining us. And thank you so much to everyone for listening. And we will be back again next week.